About this area, right? If I had a concern about children in the childcare, in the scouts, in the school, in the handball, right? It's almost like a production. And my worry is concern emotional abuse and psychic abuse and probably also physical abuse, right? And when I address on this issue to the board, there is some foreign influence, and many of the parents are foreign. There's like Chinese, the Muslims, East Bloc, and probably also Danish that in the past had another nationality, also African US, right? So basically, the problem with these parents are that they are not empowered to ask questions. They are a little bit intimidated. Some of them are migrants working fine, and some of them have a strange background, right? And I also question a little bit when you go to North Europe, which is cold like 8 months a year. It's windy, it's raining, it's cold, right? If you are from an area with sun, USA, Australia, or China, and you prefer to stay as far away from sunshine, good food, company, social, you know, I figure that you may have a background that troubles you. And I also think that the address I get from these people, and that's both foreign and Danish, is so aggressive. And one of the things I all notice is that they control with fear, aggression. That means that they are warning against to control. It's not because there's anything to worry about. It's the control they get in saying, "Woo, be careful," or down talk. You know, I can see when they walk by with their children that they down talk them in a very very strict control. It's almost abusive, and it's all around here is people that for the first is on the edge, is aggressive, is on the guard, defensive, aggressive, controlling, over controlling, and abusive. And I feel really sorry about the kids that grows up in this kind of recruiting system, that the way they've been neglected and the abuse and the hostility, and also that I was used as a kind of, you could say, example of somebody. You know, I'm very presentable when I walk with the dogs, always ready to let the children talk to the dogs and stuff if they need to, right? And I would be the only grown-up person that these children meet a whole day beside of 2 3 pedagogues, right? So I think actually I'm educated in bachelor degree in design and pedagogic, right? I'm probably higher skilled than some of the employed. And basically, when a kid goes to away from parents way too early and get into a childcare where it's the strongest empowerment, right? It's like what you call boarding school syndrome. There's like a rank, and for example, the pedagogue, because they dislike me in a way that's likely to be hatred, right? Then if I say that the kids are screaming very much, could you, maybe do something about it? Tell them not to scream, or maybe inspire them to do something else. The answer I get from the pedagogue is, mind your own business. That's a child institution in Denmark. I'm the nearest neighbor, right? I hear it every day. It's screaming like it was Waterland, or, and you can never really, some of the scream are alerting, and some are crying, and some are just having fun. But a lot of it is frustration. I'm pretty sure about that. And then they even enforce the kids to scream. Like when I walk by, they started like the small kids, 3 years old, already acting as the bully from the grown-up pedagogue and the parents. They scream at each other, and I saw by accident a nightmare vision where a new started 1.5-year-old boy and a 3-year-old stronger wild kid was screaming in the face of this 1.5 year till he cried. And they, I don't think it's because I mean it's possible to disciplinate in a nice way. It's not that discipline has to be like they're having this town where you can't talk to that and do what I say. And they also have like I've seen them sometimes when they grab a child, right? It's like, scary. And the problem is that if I have a constructive critic of their playground safety is an issue, the hygiene in the sand and the noise, and also the hostility. They were frankly ignorant, right? They have like a slum, wooden place, and I asked, can it be right that the kids are in this Junction Christiania area with no play toys? And there was a mother said, yeah, but that's preparing for school, that they just walk around in nothing. They apparently, I thought it was because they couldn't they were incompetent or didn't care or something, but it's a fucking plan. They have the plan that they are without choice because that's likely school or what. And the problem is that they get frustrated because there's nothing to do. Imagine if you're 4-5 years old, put together with a lot of kids and only 3 grown-up people that are, I'm sorry to say this, for me they look stone-faced. And they hate me, so now I'm moving away from this area, so I don't really care what they think. But the influence might be, there is a underlying thing that's worse than that, and that is maybe connected to scouts, to maybe Asia, could be Japan, China, Russia and stuff, where there is some kind of influence, no doubt. I have a problem with some of these regime countries because I know they have, and basically the aggression they have is coloring it. So I think like if I stroll down on missing person and fugitives, not that they're all here, but there's probably some that would be on that list, right? Because I think that if you are so controlling that you are destructive, then it's a sickness. And if you can't handle that there's other people than your kind of idea about life, right? They're very, this community is very concerned about unity, that they have the school and they have the scouts and the handball, right? But what about with the kids when they're gonna have social relation outside this, radical area? I mean, what are the kids that they're almost depressed from the bully? And I can see that some of the kids in this area, both foreign and Danish, is suffering mentally. They're mental ill, right? I know because I've been, when I've been in rehabilitation after, for example, terrorism, I've been in the same places. First you are in a normal hospital, then you are in another hospital, and there's nothing wrong about it. But the way they point out people that have been in hospital, when they're walking around and creating victims of abuse, right? Some of the kids are skinny, some of the kids live in dress, some of the kids are rich kids, but they're over controlled or not feeling good. And even the kids were trying, attempting to bully me as the grown-ups because they've seen the adults talk. They've seen the openly aggression, right? So the kids start to try and how far can they go? So you have hard criminals in the age of 5, 6, 12 years old. Another thing I worry about is that the weakest in this, right? That's the kids that been, displaced. That could be um, refugee families, social welfare families that completely would be loaded with shit from these kind of snobbish, militant parents, and that's what I think they are. I think there is a militant opinion. I think they're radical. First of all, like maybe they're recruiting for drugs or abuse or something. It's a lot of kids the same area. Could be that there was some, you know, abuse of kids organized something. But now I think actually because there's some link to red ideology politics. So I think maybe it's another thing. But it's also connected to teachers that's reckless, leaders that spread rumors, board that spread rumors, and a lot of money involved too. So I think it's if I was the mayor in this area, I had closed the childcare, the school, and the scouts until I could recruit new teachers, new leaders, new staff general, and the people who had been employed could not apply again. That's how you do when you have a hard group of people that are destructive, because they are destructive. And I have now spent like from 15, 16, 17, 18, and there was a proof on that is the bloodboy case where a kid is all through the system, childcare, special school, psychologists, doctors, everything. Nobody found out that his mother was tapping blood of him like a vampire, right? This is not good enough. It's horrifying to see the kids being down talked and talked into hatred of other people that will damage them in their life, because you can't go out in the world with this attitude. And you can also see there's a lot of shaming in it. I can see the girls ashamed about themselves, what their parents do, what they've been experienced. It's so critical.